Well, here's how we got there, but let's see how it began.
Hello, I'm popping on here. Yes, don't mind the two glasses, seeing far away, seeing up close. I'm just popping on here. I'm working on a project that I thought I'd show you. One of the things that I'm doing is trying to use up art supplies and the like that I have so that I can downsize. I'm not just going to give stuff away. I have abilities, so I'm going to use them. And one of my friends gave me a challenge. I told her that I like working with lamps, making lamps. And I saw someone make this cool paper mache mushroom lamp, wall lamp. And I'm like, oh, that's so fun. So I was telling her about it. And I said, if you could have any type of lamp you want, what fun, whimsical lamp would you want? And she said, a squirrel climbing up a tree. And I went, that's a little odd, but okay. There was a story behind it, and I'll share the finished product. But I'm going to stop this because for some reason it doesn't let me switch it. Or maybe it will. Nope, that was just pause. But anyway, I'm going to switch it, and then I'll show you how far I've gotten.
Okay, so here's how it began, just with cutouts. And then I used my handy dandy hot glue. There's the squirrel, and he's funny. I tore up a lot of paper, and here is how it looks when I very first put it together. Interesting, right? So here's the front, here's the back. You can see where the plug is going to go, the bulb. And I started the paper mache. So here is the next part. You're seeing the paper mache and more of it on there. It looks kind of dull right now, but after the paper mache, I started paper macheing the... Okay, here we go. Cleaned up my mess. Well, by applying more paper mache, but so here is where the light's gonna go. I just have this screwed on. So it pops up from the bottom. I'll show you, it pops up from the bottom. And this bottom part comes off, and then I can attach the wires. Here's the wire. I have done some projects, so I had a few of these, and it's just click off and on. You plug it in. So since the LED lights don't heat up, then this will be fine. And the bulb, I don't know if you can see it, the bulb will only stay up about that much. Now what I'm thinking about doing, even though you can tell I'm still wrapping, but I'm thinking about painting that up there white. And here, let me show you. I did, this is going to be painted some, but I did the angle like this so that the light will reflect out of here, just using a little bit of like physics. I don't know how well of a lamp it will be, but again, somebody else's idea. And oh, here, I can show you. Gotta let this, can only do it in stages because it starts getting like sticky and pulling away. And so I just have to let little bits dry. But here's a squirrel. So it's gonna be climbing up like somewhere right around there. And as you can see, this stands up on its own. So it could very easily set on a table, or it can hang. And again, on the back that I showed, oh, I'm gonna have to glue that down a little bit. On the back that I showed, I do have a place to where I can put a couple, they'll be here, I'll show you. there'll be two like little things, little fasteners, and then I'm just going to have a little wire there to where it can be balanced. I hate the sawtooth kind, and that comes from, you know, being an artist and hanging my own work. I absolutely can't stand the sawtooth, and it's not square. So there we go. In the process of making a tree lamp. And what I used, every layer of paper mache over the cardboard makes it harder. So this is cardboard, hot glue, and yeah, then paper mache. So it is a work in progress. It just was a challenge, and I have some pictures of like the different stages that I can insert. I don't know why I didn't film it, probably because it took two hands to do. So there you go. Little fun, little odd. And yeah, it's fun. I'll show you this from the back side. So this is the back side. This is the base. This is where, and I'll put it in here in just a second, where the light's gonna go. Here is the tree hole. You can see I paper mache'd it, and now I'm putting the brown on. Up here, you can't see it, but you can see the bump. I actually have wood here so that I can screw in attachments. Oh, I'm dirty, you can tell I'm working on stuff. So here is the front. This is hard doing one-handed. So I told her that so that it could be a home, the squirrel hole in the tree, the knot hole, needed to have a roof. So that is going to have little roof shingles, but right now I'm trying to make this look like bark. I'm using this packing paper type stuff. I have a whole bunch of it, but it's not sitting on the table. So you can see where I'm working on stuff. It's going to have some, trying to make that look like a knot hole. It's going to have a few leaves sticking out of it. And then, oh, dagnabbit. I just spilled this. Okay, I gotta clean that up. Good thing I'm going to be using it, huh? Okay, I'll get that here in just a second. Let me put a towel here. Good grief. So, where's my squirrel? There's a squirrel that's going to be attached onto here. Can't seem to, I don't know where it is. But there's going to be a squirrel climbing up here. And I'm going to clean up my mess. Then I'll bring you back. As you can see, I got this a little out of order. But I wanted to show you the different stages and the different steps. So here we are, you're showing the plain cardboard. Here's a little update. I've got, see the little tree, got the shingles on the little roof, still have just a smidge left to do. I think I'm gonna leave this and actually paint this white up at the top and then just along the edge so that the light can reflect a little bit. I might just go ahead and paint that down there, but everything else is just drying, and I think I'm liking the texture. I'm gonna dry brush it to try to give it, you know, more of a woody grain. Okay, well, that's the latest update. So here we are, the roof is on. I added a little detail around the edge. And then I went ahead and, oops, sorry. I painted the inside white so it would be more reflective. Then over here, I've added a little swirl so that it looks more like the end of the tree. And I need to do something right there. I might do a little bit of paper mache at the edge, or see how paint works with it, one of the two. Anyway, that's the latest update. Just a quick peek. Okay, now it's looking like muddier now, but it'll get better. Now for the next step. Okay, here it is. So you can see the depths. Now I skipped filming the kind of burgundy color that gives it like that reddish tone. But there you go. Do you see how there's a dark, a medium, and a light color that just kind of brings it out? It just gives it some life. It gives it the color. And I went ahead on the back there. You can see some of the burgundy color there. I did go ahead and kind of lighten it up. That dark, I was thinking about it, and that dark just isn't good enough. I did leave mostly some of the white to reflect, but underneath and even behind, you're probably wondering why. Well, why am I painting part of the back? It's because not only can this hang up, but it can stand. After this dries a little bit, because it's still a little damp, I'm going to add some mossy bits. So I'm going to do, this obviously is my dark color, and then I'm going to mix that with that to make the medium, and then that will be the highlighty of the moss. And I'm going to just place moss on a couple different places. So yeah, that's where we are today. This is more than a one-day project, so see some of my other art back in the background. But there, yeah. So I know that this process I haven't filmed much, but I wanted to give you just a little glimpse. So do you see the different layers? So I started with the black, and then I went in with the brown, and then the burgundy, and you can see the burgundy a little bit better. And then I went in with the tan. Now this part, don't even look at that yet. This part, you know, you can see, and you can see a little bit of depth, and you can see a little bit of the different color. But still, that tan is more of a medium. So now I'm going in, and I've got peach. And this is what I mean when I say dry brush. So I get some paint on here, and I know most of you probably know this, but I get paint on my brush. I don't know, it's not wanting to focus because I have other things, but paint on my brush, and then I tap it off a little. And I come over, sorry about the shadow, come over and I just add it. You see how it's just going on the highlight, which gives this a little more depth. Because earlier I said the rule of 3, and it can be more of 3, but at least 3, where you've got dark, medium, and light, and that is what gives paintings and sculptures, if you're adding color to it, depth. So here, just tapping, I don't know if it'll show, there we go. You see it's just barely on, and I use kind of a stiff brush, and I just come here, get out of my own shadow, and I just brush it on. Well, that was a little too much, but you know, I get the highlight and get the highlight. And you see around here, I twisted this just to give it a little more texture, but I'm using this color now to highlight some of that shape and some of that. There, do you see? Do you see where it just gives it just a little more? Okay. Well, I'm going to finish this with 2 hands instead of just 1. So I will let you see this in just a little bit. Okay, so here we are. And what do you think? 2 different angles. There we go. Well, here we are. The vision has come to life. So there's the squirrel with the Kit Kat bar. And there's our tree with a little bit of greenery. I decided not to do the moss. And here we are. We have the cord coming down. I just hung it up on the wall. And you can see that, so that it's not just pulling straight on that, I had put a wire through and then just covered it over. Can't even see. And so it's holding, so there's no stress. And then we just have the switch. Yeah, don't mind the green on the thumb. But there we go. There is the squirrel climbing up a tree. Wall hanging light. Look at that. Looks like he's getting ready to go home. There we go. If you wanted it just to sit on a table, I have the cord in front just because, yeah. But it could also shine on the wall and kind of shine out. And there it is, sitting there in all of its glory. I almost forgot that I was adding some surprises. So, little flowers, more little flowers, and a sweet little dragonfly. Look at that. Aww. So there we go. Yay. And look at that. So this is the back, and you can see kind of how the light shines. There's the cord underneath. I fixed it so it's not taped. There's a little hook that it hangs up with. Ooh, peekaboo. Yeah. Oh my goodness. And there he is at his place. And that's it. Thanks.